really does have to perform well.
Yeah.
To put this in a good state.
I think the last time we saw Zakali was a very, very good performance. So I'm not entirely doubtful that he can pull it off, but I do wonder if there were better, just, you know, maybe nameplates off better champions that could have been picked up here. But we'll see. I mean, obviously, yes, last time we saw an Akali top, it did pick up, was it 2 solo kills? Or no, it was 1. And then
almost
the ult,
2.
Yeah, the ult timed
2.
out. Otherwise, it would have been a second. But definitely, I think looking at drafts, I do favor Beyond. Would you disagree?
I think I favor Beyond as well. I will say that if Beyond falls behind, particularly in their bot lane, I think the game could actually just end. You know, like it feels like from behind, this is not a comp that can function. That being said, this team comp should be ahead, right? You've got the Kalista, Nico, the Rumble, Ignite Rumble, actually, in the top lane. So it's going to be matching that Ignite from the Akali. And it looks like it also will be the Lethality Varus, which obviously makes sense if you have a range support. I think the only downside of that is that Kalista is a Bork builder, which means there is going to be sustain for that poke.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes Varus poke feels a lot more like burst. I don't know if you've felt that, but you know, you get ulted in a team fight and suddenly you get taken down from 80% health in no time at all.
For sure. I think importantly, though, here for the side of BYG is their bot lane is, of course, the whole team is on blue side, and so a whole lot less vulnerable to those Vi ganks. And
are we going to see level 1 Raptor contest?
I think we should.
Yeah, Bel'Veth is very, very good at this.
Vi cannot do anything to Bel'Veth level 1. There's no way she can contest. Nico also stronger than Orianna in this instance.
If they're going to try push them off, Rel here has the inside track, so he's going to be here first. And Husha, he actually could be in a little bit of trouble here. There isn't a lot of CC, but he also has nowhere to go.
Yeah, Husha will be going down. Okay. No, he will not. He'll be losing his flash.
This does mean that Rel here is going to be very late to lane, and Husha could actually maybe wrap around.
Yeah, I think he can. Renye is very, very low. Is he going to look for the steal? Smite does come out.
Not quite get it.
And with that, is going to have to back away. Obviously, level 1 to level 2 very shortly will not be contestable.
Yeah, he is going to be behind in the jungle tempo, but honestly, for top lane, that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. And I think ultimately Bel'Veth won't feel it too bad. I think Vi can't really invade. Even as soon as Bel'Veth sort of hits level 2, should feel fine. Level 3, of course, feels very fine. Bot lane, at least currently, push going in favor of the Kalista Renata. Not terribly surprised, but I do think there is an angle where the Varus Senna could have looked to push.
Yeah. Are going to struggle with these waves crashing onto their tower. Now, it does mean, obviously, they're going to be safe from any ganks. I don't think the Bel'Veth will be able to get bot lane in time to force out any sort of dive on this third wave, which we have seen before. You know, this big cannon wave gets built up, and then suddenly your bot lane is vulnerable if your jungler isn't around to assist. But it looks like they'll be okay, and they should know that. They've got all their sums up as well, so should feel fairly confident to clear this one up.
Oh, Char manages to get the stack there.
Bel'Veth is actually pinging Rivers, so he's going to try play for an invade with the current mid and bot priority. 116, he has prior over mid as well, so Husha, he feels confident. He can go and fight this, I think. Does need to be careful, though, because even though he has that bot pro, the inside track is a lot easier for West Point to get to
I think
first.
Husha thinks it's a split map.
Ooh. Ah, does he? I don't think he does.
Yeah, maybe not. He is kiting it away, and it might actually just turn into a split map now.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to get back to Defender's top side? It looks like he's not even going to bother.
Yeah, I think, honestly, he could just play for bot lane. Although, obviously, the health bars aren't that low, so he can't really look yet. But that means that Renye can go into this top side. Is going to be able to take away a couple camps, and this has the added benefit of Driver will be unable to play aggressive in the meantime, and actually mid lane getting pretty low. 116, he's looking, he connects it.
The root. Nuli has absolutely no mana, so speed up will not be available from that command dissonance.
This might be a flash trade.
Renye's in the area. Husha as well. He's going to land.
He gets it.
Yeah, Nuli's going to be in a lot of trouble here, but unfortunately, kill will not go over. It is going to be flash forced out of that Orianna, and it's going to be Scuttle Crab, though, will be picked up now by Husha, so somehow he loses his blue and manages to get up and still get the second Scuttle Crab, so a big win there for the jungler, especially off how this game started.
Yeah. Char did lose his heal in the middle of all that, but it was, of course, the Ignite used as well, so not the end of the world. And so far, I mean, Driver, with that little advantage that he got from Relia having to commit so much time to defend those Raptors, he's really ran away with it.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is, how can Akali really farm against the Rumble, right? Like, to use your Q, to use your auto attack, you're going to be in range of Rumble's Flame Spitter.
Yeah.
And if you ever get clipped by one of the Harpoons, you're going to lose a very, very large amount of your health. Now, interestingly, this game, Driver did opt to go the Arcane Comet, where in previous games we did see the first strike.
Yeah. We also see Conqueror from Akali, which, you know, I'm not sure if Fleet has the biggest impact on this matchup here because the movement speed isn't going to be super relevant, but it does help a little bit with the early game. And honestly, it feels like falling this far behind, I mean, you're definitely not happy with how the matchup's going.
Yeah, Akali needs to be even or ahead, really, to function as you'd want. Of course, we'll be up in XP when compared to the likes of the bot laners, but certainly don't want to be this far behind. And now, BYG have first moved towards these Rift Mites, and looks like they're going to pick up the first three.
Yeah, doing pretty quickly.
Yeah, Balveth absolutely demolishing those ones, so very good start. Now, what do we think the Balveth build is going to be? Do we think it's going to be... Because right now it could, I guess, be Blade the Ruin King, could be Kraken Slayer or the likes of.
And Knight comes out.
Rally getting very, very low. Does have access to the ultimate, but no real way to use it as a gap closer. Driver does use his Equalizer as well as Ignite, but Rally will stay in the lane. Hasn't got really any health, though, so can be dove here by Driver, who does have access to Flash.
Speaking of dives, there's a big bot wave being built up, but Renier's in the wings, and it looks like Husha instead he's just going to use, again, that mid and bot priority to play for another neutral objective. It is the Dragon, now pulled only 6 minutes into the game. Would be nice to get these stacked up very early. And the gold lead is actually pretty sizable here. It's a 1k gold lead for Beyond, and a lot of that is just off CS in those solo lanes. You can see both the Nico and the Rumble pretty ahead of their counterparts. Of course, some of that was Husha's influence. You know, burned the flash mid and also denied all that XP to Relia in the top lane.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think we're going to see for the support items? I think Senna's Blood Song, and that shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but I expect, at least for Renata, to go the Celestial. I think having that extra sort of damage reduction might help, even against Poke or if Vi finds her.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you're right, the Celestial may be the safer option, but you could maybe greed something here. It feels like you won't be the main target. In the bot side, though,
Bing is finding damage. Ching9 will unfortunately miss out on that piercing arrow, and it will just be the cleanse lost for that Varus. Now Renier starting up his red, will be found out by Husha. Does charge the Vault Breaker, but nice stop by Husha. It's going to force out Renier's flash, and it should be red buff now going over to this Balveth. Yeah,
Renier really feeling the impact of having currently no prior lanes. All three lanes being pushed into him, and that is making life very difficult for him. This bot lane, they have some poke, and Kalista doesn't have any lifesteal yet, but without the Dirk on the Varus, feels like that impact that they're really looking for isn't quite there yet. Of course, next base, that could be a double Dirk picked up, and that would definitely mean that they would be power spiked, ready to fight. Ward is here by Rel here, so he's going to be very aware of Husha taking away the Krugs there. But the top lane CS continues to build. As Driver is still doing a great job for himself, just freezing the lane in the middle, giving as many opportunities as possible to deny whatever he can to Relia.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing here the unfortunate way that this red 5 pick has gone. I think Akali...
Yeah.
Obviously, part of it was that level 1, but I don't think, even with that level 1, if you had to just pick the champion that can sort of survive a bit better, although hold that thought, we do see Relia popping that ult, Driver getting very, very low, does have flash to be able to dodge out of the second usage of ult. In fact, puts down his Equalizer, expecting Relia to go in, and will not, so... Trade of ults now, as well as Ignite. Driver should feel fairly safe in this lane.
Yeah. I think nice purchase there by Driver just to go for that null magic early. Feels like the only way you can die to the Akali is, you know, some sort of level 6 all-in with the Ignite. Renier, he spotted out on this pink nice and early, so Beyond's bot lane should just be able to disappear from this. That being said, Husha's in the wing, so maybe something can be forced around the bot side here.
Yeah, they're looking. Flash will not connect, and that is just a lost flash on Husha.
Now back to bot side. And Feng managed to get his recall off and pick up the Vamp Scepter. In the meantime, though, West Point's bot lane did not. Or maybe they did. I think Senna got a recall off maybe and got the boots. But still no Dirks down in the bot lane, which means that fights definitely go the way of Beyond currently. So if you're West Point, you want to stall for just a little bit longer. You can still pressure the lane, but probably want to avoid any bot side skirmishes.
For sure. Solo laners finding themselves both at very sizable CS leads, which has led to that 1k gold advantage, as you said prior. Now, Void Grubs spawning yet again.
Yeah, and is this going to be all 6 picked up? There's lots of pings on it. Rel here, though, on the Akali, he does not have his ult yet. So do they actually want to contest this? In the meantime, Char9, he had his flash forced out.
Yeah, handshake won't connect. It is the Fate's Call used there by Feng. Unfortunately, will not connect. Char will have to burn that flash, though, of course. And 6 Void Grubs picked up here for the side of BYG. So certainly snowballing their CS and laning priority into objectives. Dragon number 2 will be spawning in 1 more minute's time, and you can look at them to continue pressuring bot side after Husha is able to recall and start to head towards this Dragon stacking win condition. Of course, with Chemtech as well as the Air Dragon already gone, means that the Dragon Soul is going to be a very meaningful one. Maybe Mountain a little less meaningful for their team. All-in comes out top though. Relia is going to be ignited. Driver turning it around as he goes overheated. Forces Relia to ult backwards, and both top laners will remain safe, although here comes the equalizer. Is Relia safe? Flash forward, Driver looking to burn him down. 1 harpoon lands. Both Renya in the area, Relia will not be going down. Husha, though, might just look for a dive.
Yeah,
Relia's going to have to play this very, very well. In fact, that was just the solo kill, yeah.
Wow. That was even with, Vi in the wings and the center ult. And neither were enough to save him in time. So nice solo kill picked up there by Driver. Has himself a 30 CS lead, and now they're on top of it. It feels like Relia, you're pretty much out of the game, I think, at this point, and that was your red side 5P. That's meant to be your trump card that comes out and says, hey, I counter the matchup, I counter the whole comp, but instead has just fallen very, very far behind. There is now that double Dirk, though, in the bot side, so there's a lot of strength currently for that Varus center. Will it be enough, though, to contest this second drag? Because the rest of the map definitely is not lacking, right? You've got Husha now with a completed Kraken. A lot of gold in his pockets. Is pathing onto the map. I think for now, just want to defend this dragon. Probably don't want to start it up until 1116 is back on the map. We'll see if he commits TP. I think he's looking for a TP flank, maybe. There's a lot of pings, and there are walls in the river, but instead commits it onto mid. Yeah,
Relia can also be at this fight if he wants to, whereas Driver, unless he walks down, cannot be. Obviously, teleport advantage in that top lane. Although, I don't know how much impact this Akali really has. Does have Ignite, does have ult, so I think even at this stage of the game, if you're an AD carry, you can't really go toe-to-toe with the Akali, so his presence certainly would be meaningful, but it will be, at least for now, BYG starting up pressure on this Dragon. Driver containing that top lane, as you can see on your minimap. Is it just going to go over? Smite will confirm it, and the upgrade for the Belveth. Picks up 1 and a nice flash ultimate there. The Pop Blossom finding 2. Char will dodge out of the Fate's Call, getting so low. Looks like he will be able to escape after landing the root there onto Feng. But Dragon, as well as 1 more kill picked up for BYG, and they are looking to take over the game. Yeah, very nice there from BYG. Managed to secure pretty much everything they wanted. I think in that fight, obviously West Point didn't feel like they were that strong other than their bot lane. And I think Nuli might have altered a Nico clone, but Rel here, he could be in trouble as Driver. I think he's toying with the idea of just walking through this tower. Decides not to. Yeah, I think he's letting the minions crash, and maybe now he can look for the dive. Ignite and ult available for Akali, though, so there is a little bit of outplay potential. I don't know how confident I feel about it actually coming to fruition, but top lane seems to have settled down for now. As bot lane, there was a bit of between the tower skirmishing going on, but nothing to really speak of. We'll take another look at this. So I think the Oriole, it only caught the Nico clone. Yeah, that's the only target it hit. In the meantime, that Renata was fantastic and immediately followed up by 116. So the Nico and Renata went absolutely huge in this fight. And Chenglan, did he end up going down? He was caught here by the Belveth. Nowhere to go, has no sums either, so it was just taken out in rather short order. And that is the worst feeling, deploying back on the map, going to your tower, trying to pick up some gold, and finding that you can't even get there. Yeah, Husha is extremely strong right now. He is going to be a bit of a menace to deal with. It also looks like Rel here, with his Conqueror build, is going to be going towards a Liandry. And I'm not too sure how I feel about this. So Riftmaker Liandry is definitely a build on Akali, but I wonder, in this game, is sustained DPS really what you want? It feels like you kind of need burst almost to play this game. Hold that thought, though, as Beyond, they're starting this, and West Point, they want to give it... Ooh, handshake will miss. Hostile takeover connects. Not too much damage, though, as Ching9 is playing the lethality, not a whole lot of attack speed. The Pop Blossom will connect here onto Rally, a flash forward, and Balveth will claim herself a third. Now it's 4-0 in favor of BYG.
Husha just absolutely running away with this game. Was, again, pretty nice pick there. Found by 1116 on the Nico. And Herald.
Are we drifting?
Can they go for 2 towers here? They definitely get 1, but people are coming up.
Yeah, Nully's here. Will be spotted, of course. Driver, waiting in the wings. Cease and desist use. Oriana also will connect. And overheat. Renye almost gets taken out. 116 will confirm it. There is Husha trying to connect with that knock-up. Only just will go wide after the flash away from Char. But 1 for 1. It's a good pickup for West Point, but turned around once again here from BYG as Husha still going forward. Will miss that knock-up yet again there onto Nully, who sidesteps it gracefully.
We'll take another look at it. So once again, the Renata ult manages to zone so many people out of the fight. In the meantime, the objective just goes down, and Relia, he got a bit too aggressive here and was just caught out by the Protobelt ult from 116. I think might have even died here without the flash committed from Husha. So either way, nice pick.
Definitely would have gone down, but then Husha wouldn't have had another kill, so...
Sure.
Had to get that
they
one.
They are very, very good on the Belveth. It's going to be almost a full item ahead of the enemy jungler, eventually.
Will be coming soon, I believe. Now, pressuring again around this bot side. Dragon will be spawning soon. Husha actually takes quite a bit of a chunk of damage there from Nully on this Oriana. Does have that Luden's Companion now completed up, and not sure how I feel. We saw that obviously yesterday with the Nocturne Oriana combo. Very similar thing, very similar concept with the Vi and Oriana.
Oh, Char9.
Yeah, dodging out.
He just barely manages to get out of harm's way. And maybe now they can look for a fight.
Driver once again being flashed upon here, and Renye and Nully being looked at. Pop Blossom will go wide as Nully's able to flash away. Nice shockwave. Should mean 116 goes down as long as there's no reset coming through, and there won't be. Hostile takeover comes through, but it's going to be 3 kills now picked up from West Point. 2 going on to Ching9 as that Varus. A great turnaround and much needed gold over to the side of West Point Esports.
Yeah, Beyond, they just overreach on the play there and they get punished in a big way. I think that's so important because this third dragon spawning in 30 seconds, it was looking almost uncontestable for West Point with how far behind they were. But now with some extra gold in their pockets, with some kills picked up, potentially they can fight it.
I think the spot lane should recall though, because everyone will be back on the map, and it is a Hextech Soul, so Hextech gates will be available. You can close the gap to get to that dragon very, very quickly. And they are going to recall. They're going to get that reset in. See what items Varus ends up with after his pickups.
Initial play here, I think a lot was invested. You know, the Rumble ult was used and they didn't find anything with it. After that, you can probably just back out. But I think once they'd committed the TP, they felt like, okay, we should try and do something here. Nully, though, he matches the flash, and suddenly, you know, 116 is just in way too deep. His team tries to save him. They try and get this kill onto Renye, but can't quite get it in time. And then just the rest of the members of West Point come and clean it up. Third dragon, though, on your screens now. It is a slight lead for Beyond. Driver potentially caught out.
Can he get the equalizer off? He will not even be able to do that. So 4v5 now. It looks like West Point should have control over this dragon, although 116 waiting in the wind, going for the Pop Blossom. The Protobelt finds 2, and that's going to be an immediate turnaround. Ching9 having to flash away, as well as Renye using that Vault Breaker to get out. So the pick onto Driver results in a double kill for the side of BYG, as well as their third dragon, and 1 more towards this Hextech Soul.
Yeah, you feel like with that third dragon picked up now, Beyond are in such a commanding position.
Oh, Ching9, no flash. He's caught out. Husha's going to claim himself a 5th, and now the mid tower, the next objective to be looked at. Minion waves crashing should mean it goes down. 6 Void Grubs as well, certainly going to help out.
That fight there really feels like it could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because you got that pick onto Driver. Now, admittedly, some cooldowns were used, but it should have been a fight win, right? You saw Beyond was thinking, okay, maybe we need to back out of this now that we're in a 4v5, but it really was just 116 finding a fantastic ult, and he's so good at the Nico. He does this so consistently, finds both the squishies, and then a team fight win not long after.
Absolutely. Resets coming through now. Next objective, Baron in 1 minute. And sort of what I was talking about before the game is I want to see BYG pressure their lead. And I think you've got a Blade of the Ruin King Callista. You're very far ahead. I don't think you can necessarily just do the straight up Baron, of course, against the Lethality Varus as well as the Oriana Vi will be very difficult. But I think you can start pressuring around the vision. If you can find any pick at all, I think that at that stage you can absolutely look for it. Could also look to start it and try and find a turn with 1-1-6, and the Pop Blossom has been working very well thus far in the game.
Yeah. Does come up in not too long, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Beyond just play for that dragon win condition, because it's going to come up so early, right? They managed to get their third dragon at 18 minutes or something. So not too long until the next one. Rally,
handshake will land. Rally's going to go into that Shroud, but Equalizer comes down on top. Husha's looking for him. It's 1-for-1 thus far, as we do see Stay True going down. Second kill, though, picked up here onto that Vine. 1-1-6 with the double Pop Blossom, immediately taking out 2, and Husha will confirm the 5th. It's going to be 1-5 for the team fight, and it should be Baron now going over to BYG.
Yeah, there are pings onto it. They certainly have the DPS for it with that Kraken on the Belveth, as well as the Bork on the Callista, and that is really going to blow this game wide open. I think for West Point to come back at this point, you would need a miracle. And this should just be a DPS down, and a legitimate 20-minute Baron. You know, kind of unlucky timing. If West Point had died there about 30 seconds earlier, probably wouldn't actually be in the worst spot ever. But with this picked up, you know, the Baron buff will last long enough that it almost guarantees that 4th dragon as well. And of course, the gold injection adds so much to what they already have. Slater, with that Celestial, he can tank up for a pretty long time here for the rest of Beyond to come in and clean this up. And the Renata, once again, I think, manages to find them. Nice TP flank from 1-1-6. Gets 2 squishies again. The Beyond team fighting is just very, very nice. And just to get an absolute clean ace there.
For sure, and 8k ahead, have the Baron now to work with, and I think it's time to start sieging down some of these towers. Of course, you don't have to be too pressuring. You can just push up, make sure the waves are in a good state, and you still have the Baron as soon as this Hextech Soul win condition spawns. Driver realizing he is really Giga weak-sided and will back off. Nully, though, wasn't really weak-sided. He was just going to lane and gets taken out by Husha, who is now 8-1-4 on the Belveth, so... Well, maybe Jarvan could have been a better team compositional champ. I think Husha's certainly made the Belveth work.
Yeah, Husha has been having some great games so far this split. A minute and a half on that next dragon, and still 2 minutes on the Baron buff. Let's see what more Beyond can take. They might just choose to try break inhibs before they go for the dragon, just knowing that West Point don't really have the potential to contest. And just look how many little void things there are here.
Yeah. Oh, part of that is the Belveth.
Yeah.
Most of it, in fact. Of course, Belveth, once upgrading from either Rift Shield or Baron, will get little minions of her own every time a minion around her dies, and so adds to the pushing pressure tenfold.
Ooh, 1-1-6 maybe found on the top side.
It's going to get dodged away by Char, and he's getting very, very low. Flash forward season, this will come out. This will be 1-1-6 going down, but how much time can he delay? He delays a reasonable amount, also does a lot of damage here onto Char 9 on the center. Now, mid tower, mid inhib, both gone down. As bot now being looked at, should be a second inhib for the BYG team, and 30 seconds until the dragon respawns. BYG 1-1-6 will have teleport. Renier going behind.
They're really trying to force this.
I don't think this works. I think Husha can absolutely destroy this team fight. Now, teleport has been used. Rally is trying to stay hidden, but Husha is not scared at all of the Akali. Just going to dodge in. Will have that damage reduction. Uses it and one-shots Rallia. Now, the bottom side of the fight, Equalizer comes through. Char's getting very, very low. Driver flashes forward, but it will be matched by Char. And now with all the action going on, it is just going to be BYG who are able to turn their attention towards this dragon, pick up the soul, and it should be very, very easy from here.
Yep. Really feels like Beyond are just ticking the boxes at this point. They're so far ahead and will now grab that dragon soul. It is difficult. You know, West Point, it felt like that was a desperation play, trying to just force something while it was 5v4. But really, Beyond are just too far ahead now, cresting that 10,000 gold lead and then some.
Sure. Now, not the strongest combo here, of course, between the Nico as well as the Renata, but Renier sees him, backs off. Now, interesting, Renier's decided to go Titanic Hydra first on Vi. And now, I understand it obviously does proc off her E. I don't think we've seen that before, and so I'm a bit perplexed as to the thought process.
Yeah, it might just be thinking it's just a strong item in the current meta. We have seen, you know, plenty of champs just rushing out Titanic straight into tank and kind of making it work regardless of what they are, but you know, when this far behind, it feels like pretty much whatever you build, you're going to be not too useful. But now, sieging this last inhib, There is no Baron buff, so West Point, they could maybe clear this out with the Orianna ult, but they won't be able to hold on to it forever.
Yeah.
And once this tower falls, the inhib is going to be not too far behind.
An Equalizer is going to make this very difficult if Driver chooses to use it. Season has come through. Center ult also going to come through, but Renier has absolutely exploded. Fing does get very, very low, but isn't going to be able to get out. Husha, though, he's in the back line. Char's going to go down. That's one reset. Rally very, very low. Equalizer comes through. Ching9 going to be looked at. Flash forward from Husha. He picks himself up a second. He's not going to get that reset on the fountain. But with that, it should spell the end of the game. Only Newly stands. It's 5 strong for the side of BYG. Nexus Tower's going down. And game number 1, Beyond Gaming.
Very nice performance here from Beyond. They continue their streak. Have not yet shown too much weakness other than maybe a slight game against CFO. But they're looking pretty good, right? I think definitely looking at